that. But then for some odd reason why I'm in my little funk and I'm in my little mode or well like that but when even I was like, well, God, I don't even want to do what you call me to do. But then while I was laying in the hospital room and everything, I was still able to do the things of what God had called me to be. And so then I'm sitting right there, I'm talking with nurses and everything. It's like some of the nurses wanted to come in my room because it was more peaceful in my room from where, I had my TV on, but then like I had it muted, but then like I had my music on. So it's like one moment I was listening to Trey McLaughlin. Another moment I was listening to Israel Newbury. Then one time I was listening to Ty Tribbett. Then was another thing I was listening to Ricky Dill. I was listening to my music. I was listening to Bizzle, and Trip Lee and Lecrae and all them. I was listening to my music and everything. And so the nurses and them was coming and saying, yo, like, I just want to sit in your room for like the next 30, 45 minutes. And it's so peaceful. It's like, it's like, even though like, we're here to age you, but then like we can just stand right here, then we can talk, and then, then we can talk and everything. And so then they would tell me some of the things of what was going on with them. And then I was like, well, I was trying to be encouragement. And I said, well, you can't be like that because then from whenever that you're doing this right here, you're doing this right here. I mean, I was talking to one nurse right here. It's like she made her attempt to make sure that I was one of her patients that was on her list on the night shift. So then every time on night shift, so whenever that she made, like how the way she did, like she made sure everybody else was okay on her list before me. Then when she made sure everybody else was okay, then she came to my room. And she said, I'm going to make sure you was okay. And said, I said, yes, ma'am, I'm doing fine. And so then we were just sitting there, we was talking, I would listen to a sermon. I would listen to a sermon from Maximizing Life Family Worship Center here in Greensboro, North Carolina. I would listen to a sermon by Pastor Omar Rojas. And I can't remember the sermon or where he was preaching. And so the nurse was sitting right there because at the time from where she had to sit with me because I was getting blood transfusions, so they had to sit with me for a certain amount of time just to make sure that everything was okay and make sure like I wasn't like bleeding out or anything like that. And so she's sitting with me, and I was listening to the sermon, and everything like that. And so then like we started talking. And so she was like, well, she was like, wow, that was good. That's good right there. And so, I was giving her like the church information and everything like that. And so then she was telling me about something that was going on, something that was going on with her. And so then we were sitting there, we was talking, I listened to what she said. I gave my input, but then I was like, but then the same token, like, you have to be encouraged about this right here. And so we was talking and everything. And so then when she left, she was like, cause like she actually was like late leaving. She was actually late from getting off shift because we was sitting there talking the whole time from where either like the morning shift thing came in and then she was coming and checking in, but then like the night shift was still there. She said, wait a minute, I need to go home and go get me some rest because then I can be back tonight. And so then I'm like, well, God, so the more I was sitting there, the more I was starting to realize, I was like, well, God, you had me go through this for a reason. And so then whenever, after sitting there and talking to that person, I was starting to accept the things on what God has called for me what God had called for me to do while I was laying in the hospital bed. And so I was like, well, God, you called me to this. You called me to this right here. You called me to that. And I mean, trust me, believe. I would not to be like, well, yes, Lord, I go all the way, man. I had questions. I need to be like, well, Lord, why me? Why I had to go? I mean, I had questions on top of questions. And then I was questioning myself. And I'm like, well, God, are you sure you want me to do this? And so it was time for where I was like that, like every time. But then I had to learn to accept. I had to accept what God has called me. I had to accept, but just like a God has accepted me, I had to accept on what God had called me because it was no point of me denying on who I am. It was no point of me to be like, well, I just want to change my name. No, I had to accept on what God has called me to be. So that means I have to accept every little thing about me than what God done created, but I need to accept it, and and I have to embrace it. Just like you're talking to a person right now that is a double amputee, soon who will be walking real soon. I had to accept on being a double amputee to still love God. The person who had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, who was anemic, who was a person who had risk on having blood clots in the lungs or in the heart or in my. I was a jacked up person. But I had to accept and say, you know what? It ain't always gonna be like this. So God, whatever changes that you need to make in me, I'm ready for you to make the changes in me because I accept on who I am. So today, do you accept on who you are? I mean, honestly, really, do you accept on who you are? Ask yourself that question. Do you accept on who you are? So that is going to be it for today. That's going to be it for today. Once again, this is your boy, Daryl, to motivate here on Motivated to the Max. And so I want to invite you guys on Friday evening. I'm going to do a special podcast / Facebook Live on Friday evening from where I told you guys I was in a collab in a book. But I'm going to have a special guest in there because it was 2 collaborations that was going on. It was a book on When I Was in Build It Again, and there was another collaboration that was going on. It was called Talitha Coon on Stand Up Little Girl. And so we're actually going to sit down and talk to one of the authors that was part of that collaboration on Talitha Coon. I'm not gonna tell you on who she is. I'm getting you guys right there. You're like, wow. I said, and that sounded like a good book. So I actually want to meet this. I actually want to hear this person about this person and everything. So then, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, it will be here on the podcast. It will be on Facebook Live. I'm just gonna give you her first name. Her first name is Miss Tamika. That's all I'm gonna give you guys. And she was part of the collaboration of Talitha Coon on Stand Up Little Girl. And so if you guys want to know more about this, if you guys want to know on the story from what she had wrote in Talitha Coon Stand Up Little Girl, then I need for you guys to tune in on Friday evening at 7 o'clock p.m. here on the podcast and also on Facebook Live. If you guys want to see it on Facebook Live and listen to the podcast, go on Facebook and look up Motivated to the Max. It's how the way it's spelled on the title, Motivated to the Max. Go in there, like it, follow the page, and then you would get the notification where we're going on live, and so then you guys can join in. Plus, also still listen in on the podcast and everything like that. And so you guys come in, listen to Miss Tamika's story on what she talked about on Talitha Coon Stand Up Little Girl. And then you guys want to ask questions or anything like that, you'll be able to ask her questions and everything, so that you can get her perspective on writing, and then we're gonna have a great time on Friday evening at 7 o'clock on Facebook Live and here on the podcast. And we're gonna be talking to Miss Tamika, who was a co-author in Talitha Coon on Stand Up Little Girl. So you guys join me on that for Friday evening. So it will be another podcast on that Friday morning, and then it'll be a special podcast evening at 7 o'clock with Miss Tamika, from where we will be talking with her, and then we'll be finding out whatever stuff that she got going on. Cause I know she's about to be a fellow podcaster, about to be starting up a podcast, I think. And so we're gonna come in here and we're gonna give her some support, and we're gonna stand in. We're gonna be like, okay, cool, how can I get in on this? And everything like that. We have all that for you guys on Friday evening at 7 o'clock in the evening. And so with that being said, I am your boy, D to Motivate, on here on Motivated to the Max. Catch me on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then every other, and also on some Saturdays. But I will let you guys know when I come in on Saturday. And also be on the lookout, because I'm doing some extra work from where I'm thinking about not for just Motivated to the Max, but I'm thinking about having another podcast up with my lovely wife, Latasha Tisdale, from where that podcast will be Kicking It with Team Tisdale. We're working out all the details and stuff on it right now. So then And cause that's also a Facebook Live. Is Kicking It with Team Tisdale, and that come on Saturdays and around 9:15. Come in, sit there, and you kick it with us. From where we have guests on there as well, and then for where, hey, you can ask us questions like, well, hey, what made you guys want to do this? We told that answer so many times, but we never get tired of telling, because for where we decide to do and what we're doing right now, if we didn't decide back then to do it, then we wouldn't be doing this at all. And so stay tuned for that. More details on Kicking It with Team Tisdale will be coming at you guys real soon. And then, with this been Team Tisdale, it is just working it in. And some people are like, what is Team Tisdale? Team Tisdale, that is me and my lovely wife, Latasha Tisdale, who is also one of the sponsors of this show, with her business, Lachey Beauty and Cosmetics. Let her beautify and lachey your day. And just give her a call. I will get her information up to you guys from where you guys can reach out to it. If you're looking for a makeup artist, somebody to, do some things for you, like makeup wise and everything like that. Check out on the Facebook is Lachey Beauty and Cosmetics. And then you will see my lovely wife picture on there, Latasha Tisdale's picture on there, from where she will help beautify your day. So that is it for me, guys. I pray and hope you guys have an awesome rest of your Wednesday. Remember, Wednesday, WINDAYS on your Wednesday and the rest of your week. And I will see and talk to you guys on Friday. You guys be blessed. Peace out.